months will be middle of April. I think it has to be more than that. Okay, for the rest of this calendar year. And if you lose, you wash all of ours. He gestured around the table. Ugh. He raised a challenging eyebrow. But I'm not even seeing anyone right now. I'll bet you can't pick up that hot blonde over at the bar. Rico lifted his chin. Not Lauren Dyson Ball Vacuum. My head whipped around to look. Is that Lauren? The one standing at the end of the bar? She's with 2 girls and a guy. Nah, that's not Lauren. I narrowed my eyes. But she's with a guy. You don't know if they're together. She's hot, Bomber agreed. Maybe out of your league. I straightened. What? That was like a double dare. A double dog dare. That was like laying out fat rails in front of a coke addict. Her friends are cute too, Pilgrim said musingly. Maybe you could go over and ask if any of them are interested. No! All 3 guys shouted. Pilker grinned. Not the right approach. Definitely not, I grimaced. You need to make a woman feel like she's special. Plus, that would sound really lame and desperate, Rico added. Well, if you're so good at it, Chaser lifted an eyebrow at me. What are we betting on this? I already said, washing the shorts. No, that was for dating someone for 2 months without falling in love. What are we betting on me getting a date with her? Ah, Rico nodded. Okay, he tapped his chin. If you can't get her to go out with you, I get your stiff t-shirt. I stared at him in horror. No way! That's too valuable to give up. The t-shirt was made by legendary indie record producer Stiff, and it said on the front, if it ain't stiff, it ain't worth a fuck. It was one of my most prized possessions. You don't think you can do it? Rico smirked. Ah, I glanced at the blonde. Okay, what do I get if I do get her to go out with me? Rico rubbed his jaw. I know, your Gordie Howe autographed hockey card. No way, I grinned. You know you're gonna lose. I'll give you my Wayne Gretzky one. I considered that. Deal. The next band came on and started their set. I'll do it after this set, I shouted over the music. They all gave me a thumbs up. Christ, what had I gotten myself into? I drank more beer and listened to the music. I turned my head slightly and eyed the woman they'd pointed out. Yep, hot. I watched her instead of the band. My assessment was that she and the guy weren't together. They didn't touch. It looked platonic. Plus, he kept looking at the brunette who was with them. Tall, long blonde hair, seemed pretty from here, with a big smile that she flashed at her friends as they moved to the music. I couldn't see all of her because of other people in the way, but then her friends moved. Whoa! Short skirt, high boots with killer heels, and legs to die for. Not that you could see much of them above the boots, but the stretch of toned, smooth thighs was, stellar. Holy shit. Okay, I'm not a legs man, not a boobs man, or an ass man. I like all women parts equally. It's the total package. And that includes the eyes, the smile, the personality. She was a total babe package. Well, except I didn't know her personality. Yet. Okay, this wouldn't be a hardship. Out of my league? Pfft. Remember how I said I like women? Well, women like me too. Not being a cocky asshole, it's true. My belief? Women like me because they know I like them. I know how to talk to them, how to treat them, how to make them feel special. I also know how to make them feel special, if you know what I mean. When the set finally ended, I slid off my stool and sauntered over to the bar. In a perfect moment, she was on the outside of her group of friends. In fact, the guy wasn't there, probably in the can. I gave a quick, subtle scan of her hands. No rings on her left hand, just a silver ring on her right ring finger. Hi, I said with a smile I knew women couldn't resist. Sorry to interrupt. I turned my body slightly and lifted my hand. See those guys over there at the table by the window? She gave me a look, slid her gaze toward my friends, then back to me. Up close, she was really pretty. Her mouth was a little wide, but had a sweet curve. She had amazing eyes, clear blue with a darker ring around the iris. Her long hair was many shades of gold, which I recognized as expensive highlights. In fact, she had an expensive air about her. The dress was plain, but the boots looked like they cost $1,000. Those guys? She pointed. Yeah. I leaned in a little closer. Not creepy close, though. They want to know if you think I'm cute. She turned those blue eyes back on me, her perfect eyebrows arched above them. For a few long seconds, she just looked at me with no expression on her face. Then she laughed.